Get him yourself. Ron, just... Oh, what the... Why? What do you want to say again? Ronald would like me to tell you that Seamus told him that Dean was told by Parvati that Hagrid's looking for you.
Is that right? Well, what?
This film had a new director, Mike Newell. He brought something new to it, which was really nice.
The first British director as well. That made quite a bit of a difference. And no, he was a bit crazy sometimes, but you know, he was a good laugh. Yeah.
He's great because at where I am now in terms of acting, well, I just want to learn as much as possible. He gives very, very detailed notes, which is great because that's what I need. He's just a real actor's director.
Why so tense, Potter? My father and I have a bet, you see. I don't think you're going to last 10 minutes in this tournament. He disagrees. He thinks you won't last 5.
I don't give a damn what your father thinks, Malfoy.
Nah!
He's vile and cruel, and you're just pathetic.
I was very confident about, well, not very much, because it's pretty daunting, because of the scale of it and because it's action and special effects and all of that.
I have a lot of respect for Mike. I think I genuinely think he's brilliant.
He's just this big guy and he's just looking after, like, his children or something when we're on set, and he gets personal with, like, everyone. I mean, he makes sure that you feel comfortable and relaxed while you're on set.
He was a tiny bit stricter, yeah, you had to be a bit, I mean, and the earlier films I had this really bad habit of sort of giggling and sort of completely ruining takes, and I had to sort of concentrate a bit more this time.
He treated us like adults. He wasn't going to treat us anything less, and we had a responsibility, and he worked as hard. He presented us with a real challenge, which I really liked.
I'm here because Dumbledore asked me. End of story. Goodbye, the end. Any questions? But first, which of you can tell me how many unforgivable curses there are?
3, sir.
And they are so named?
Because they are unforgivable. The use of any one of them will
Earn you a one-way ticket to Azkaban, correct?
If what you do is to say to them, well, listen, chaps, it's a real school. You all went to school. What were your teachers like? How would you be? And, of course, they rise to it. Absolutely, they rise to it, and they become very, very real indeed. I believe that the school itself ought to be a character.
Now to Seamus, and 4, 5, and 6. He climbs up his arm, onto his shoulder, tickles him under the chin. Now from Seamus to Ron, and 7 and 8. Ron to Malfoy and 9.
The school becomes this mad, dysfunctional, anarchic place.
Oh, my father will hear about this.
Is that a threat? Professor Moody!
Is that a threat?
Professor?
I can tell you stories about your father that would curl even your greasy hair, boy!
Alistair!
It doesn't end here!
Alistair, we never use transfiguration as a punishment. Surely Dumbledore told you that.
Might have mentioned it.
He's quite strict, but he's just crazy and completely mental.
Is really shaken and quite, you know, quite close to the edge at all times. He was put into a classroom and reminded me of some of the teachers of the old school. Now, the minister says you're too young to see what these curses do. I say different. You need to know what you're up against. You need to be prepared. You need to find another place to put your chewing gum besides the underside of your desk, Mr. Finnegan.
Oh, no way. The old codger can see at the back of his head.
I'm here across classrooms. So, which curse shall we see first? He has no time for pussyfooting about. He wants to get down to the real thing. He's very inclined to show these young men what they're up against. Your pal Diggory. By your age, he could turn a whistle into a watch and have it sing you the time. Miss Delacour. She's as much a fairy princess as I am. As for Crumb, his head may be filled with sawdust, but Karkaroff's is not. They'll have a strategy. And you can bet that it will play to Crumb's strengths. on, Potter. What are your strengths?
I don't know. Well, I can fly. I mean, I'm a fair flyer, but
Better than fair, the way I heard it.
But I'm not allowed a broom.
You're allowed a wand.
A film should be made that wasn't simply part of a cookie-cutter sequence of films. Having decided to do that, they let me go. They were very content to let me go.
Mike's brought out a lot of humour in this film. I mean, it's really dark and really tragic, but I mean, he tries to bring out as much humour as possible, so it kind of balances.
Is that a student?
Technically, it's a ferret.